Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRC, has announced plans to integrate standards issued by the Accounting and Auditing Organisation for Islamic Financial Institutions, AAOIFI, into Nigeria's financial reporting framework. The initiative, unveiled at a stakeholders engagement in Abuja, is aimed at strengthening reporting for Islamic finance and non-interest financial institutions, improving transparency, and aligning Nigeria's financial system with global best practices.
The council said the integration will be phased, stakeholder-driven, and aligned with existing laws and prudential regulations, with the broader objective of boosting investor confidence, enhancing market discipline, and positioning Nigeria as a credible hub for Islamic finance in Africa. To discuss the implications of this development, we now have joining us economist and development expert Aliyu Ilias, who joins us all the way from the Federal Capital Territory. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. So I want you to please break it down in layman terms. When people hear this, when someone hears the AAOIFI, Accounting and Auditing Organisation for Islamic Financial Institutions, and they're talking about integrating the finance standards, what does that mean? What does that look like?
Right. Thank you so much. Basically, what simply means that we want to align with global standard in terms of the Islamic finance and products. That simply means that we've been having, we had different Islamic banks in Nigeria. Beyond those that are even purely Islamic banks, we also have conventional banks, having some section looking at Islamic banking. So that simply means that there's a standard globally. So we are now going to integrate into that standard, and that standard have a lot of advantage. Number one, it will position us and shows that we are actually following the Sharia compliance in that area when it comes to accounting, auditing of Islamic finance products. Number two, it will also help in terms of capacity building and certifications. Most people that are in that area need to be certified, and they need to also conform with global standard. This global standard will enable foreign direct investment, it will enable trust, and it will also engender Islamic finance as it were more deep. So it's encompassing. It simply means that you've been operating, but you are not operating to the level of global standard. Now you are moving to the global standard. This will also help the FRC to actually monitor and also understand the operation of Islamic products and finance in Nigeria.
Okay, let me ask this very quickly. I like the fact that you've explained what it is, and this is very important, because if you go online, as usual, Nigerians, a cross-section, have taken it to mean something else. I'm just going to read one of the comments quickly and let you help Nigerians, all of us, really understand. So this comment says, Nigeria is a religiously diverse country. Of course, religious has now been taken into the entire context. And integrating Islamic finance standards into the national reporting framework will inevitably raise questions about fairness and neutrality. Does this have anything to do with anything concerning, fairness and neutrality? He goes on to say, lastly, while Islamic finance can bring transparency and attract investment, it should not be treated as a preference or given undue priority over conventional or Christian-compliant financial standards. Can you help all of us, including those who may be ignorant about this, to fully understand what it means? If it has any religious connotation and so on.
Right. So basically, let me say this first. This organization that is Accounting and Auditing Organisation for Islamic Financial Institutions, United Kingdom is part of it. So for you to know, that is not much more of Islamic as we thought. The only principle is that it has different principles from the conventional bank. And I would like us to see it from the principle base. One, it is non-interest bank. If you go to Nigerian banks that are Islamic bank now, you can see that both Christians and Muslims are working there and are also banking with them. So it does not have anything that has to do that you are becoming a Muslim or you are transacting with a Muslim, not at all. Number two, he talks about interest. No, it talks about a risk sharing, not risk shifting. Without reducing any banks, the fact remains that once you have any investment or you transact any business with this Islamic bank, they are going to share from your risk, not risk shifting. Then thirdly, basically, you can as well choose which of the bank you want to buy. You can go to conventional bank or you go to Islamic bank. It also gives you opportunity for finance. You also recall that this actually brings discipline, like the FRC said. Now, it does not give room for even about borrowing, to get much more debt, because they're going to be in the business you are doing and you're going to operate together. So it does not have that once you do it, maybe it's only Sharia compliance that talks about non-interest. So you can choose either banks that give you interest or, banks that actually operate with interest, or bank that did not operate with interest. It's just an option, and I think it's opened a vista of opportunity for Nigerians that you can do business and you believe that your risk is going to be shared.
Okay, Mr. Ilias.
As basic as this might sound, just for the sake of our viewers, are these banks open to Christians and non-adherents of the Islamic faith?
100%. You do not have anything. It does not have anything to do with Islamic faith. In fact, I can tell you, you can fact check this. Most customers are I know most of them are like non-Muslims. So it's clear. It does not have anything to do with your faith. Does not have anything to do with your religion. You are not feeling fault because you are a Muslim. Not at all. It's just the Sharia compliance that has to do with non-interest bank. That's all. It does not have anything to do with faith.
Okay, I want to ask, when you say non-interest, again, for the benefit, is it the interest that the bank, is interest coming from the bank or from the individual? So please help once again to break down non-interest. Because if I put my money into the bank, I'm expecting it to yield interest. So let's understand.
Or is it interest on loans?
On loans, on the bank. Which one?
Right. So what I'm just trying to say basically is that you don't expect an interest on your money. Then you don't also expect to pay interest on loan. What it actually simply means that we are going to be a profit sharing. So for instance, I want to do a business. So instead of me paying interest, that the concept of interest paying is shift to me. Perhaps I'm to pay interest, and the more I delay, the more the interest gets increasing. But in this case, once you borrow money, the bank is interested in your business, and you are going to be co-sharing the profit and the loss as well. That's what it simply means. So when you lose while doing the business, it's clear to them that yes, it's this process is actually clear. And that's why most of the business that you can transact there are businesses that are transparent. You can borrow money for trading, you can borrow money for property, you can borrow money for business activities, but it must not be vague. So that's what it simply means. So it does not really, it simply say that anything you are doing with them, we don't give interest and we don't take interest. We co-share the profit.
Okay, that's clearer. I think that solves, that gives the answer. Olive, you have a question or Bingo?
All right. I just want to say what should be the expectations going on from here, and how significant would you say this reform is in strengthening Nigeria's competitiveness within Africa's financial services sector?
Right. So let's take it from. I'm sure we are all familiar with what we call Sukuk bond, which is a Islamic bond. So it will give room for such more money, investments in Nigeria the more, because people will have trust in the process more. We also have what we call takaful insurance. People will have trust in that insurance process as well. Then, the major thing is that, let me tell you how it will even benefit us the more. Our accountants, our auditors in Nigeria will now have a standard to comply with, and we now have a standard to look up to, and we now have the freedom to get more certification in that area and understand it. So it will help our reporting and accounting process that will comply with the global standards. So there are enormous advantage. There's a lot of Islamic products that most of Islamic finance are products that we do not know. This would have opened the opportunity more, create employment, bring more funds, and people transact more businesses.
All right. Thank you very much for bringing us this update regarding this. We're going to wait and see how things unfold. And I'm really glad that you've been able to shed some more light on this so Nigerians can be more open-minded towards it. And I completely see the perspective of financial inclusion that you've spoken to. Thank you very much for your time with us.
Thank you so much.